Christopher Nolan might be the greatest film director today, but even he has some poor decisions, and that for him was writing off Two-Face. What made the Dark Knight trilogy so special was Heath Ledger, canonically known as the Joker. Everything on Heath's performance, the screenwriting, the psychological warfare he brought to the film, the uncanny design, twisted ideologies, and manic actions. Nolan exercised all his talents to the sequel, but he could have made just as impressive trilogy and even extended it to a fourth film. Even if he didn't want to make 4 different films focused on Batman, what he could have done was taken a different route in the trilogy. As for the first film, it's pretty forgettable. Not a bad film overall, but there just isn't much to take from it. It seems like a lazy write-out for a film with a redundant storyline. As for the third film, it's heavily carried by Bane. The chemistry between Bane's character and Christian Bale's Batman performance just didn't mix well. Bane outshined Batman not only in physical ability, but also in acting. Not that Bane was some miraculous actor, but the position they put Batman in throughout the film just made the whole film rather mundane. Whether it be scene by scene, his screenwriting, his combat skill, the cliche plotline, etc., Batman was poorly done in that film. However, the second film is about as close as you can get to a perfect film. With that said, the one thing that would have made it perfect is very simple. The Dark Knight took a different tone from the other two in the series. It was similar to most Christopher Nolan films in the manner where it's a labyrinth and there's a big plot twist, then you're caught back into the film and tempted to rewatch it again because you're convinced yourself you've missed something important, no matter how close to detail you paid attention, just to find out you actually did. Going from the cheesy Hollywood-style film that was Batman Begins, then onto a perplexing story in The Dark Knight, to a dysfunctional The Dark Knight Rises, the whole series' consistency was thrown off. But him keeping Harvey Dent alive would have made for the perfect follow-up to The Dark Knight. Harvey Dent gets into an accident, and when hospitalized, he is visited by none other than the Joker, where they have a discussion of ideals and slowly paints Harvey Dent into Two-Face, a character whose decisions and actions are decided by the flip of a coin, very similar to that of the antagonist for No Country for Old Men. What made this character so special was because it wasn't forced. Harvey Dent, even before the injury, was already deciding his own decisions through the flip of a coin. However, now he's deciding others with the same flip, creating a very wicked and vile character in Harvey Dent, one that lines very similar to the Joker, where everything they do is fair, but also equally unfair, which keeps the audience at bay in every waking moment of the film. There wasn't an actor to come close to Heath's performance in DC or Marvel franchise, but the deranged and morally grotesque natural character of Two-Face would have played perfectly into the same Joker the late and talented Heath Ledger played. But really, making any series is hard, especially making 3 films that are nearly as good as each other. With that said, the trilogy is still pretty good, but had they utilized Two-Face and turned him into the monster he was becoming, that would have made the series all the much better. That's all for this video. Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors, and somewhere down the line, I'll make a short ranking all his films to show a landscape of how I view his work in totality. With that said, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back to making more videos and getting them out faster. See ya.